I hate to tell you, man, though, I think your country is lost. I think Canada is a failed state.
I'll tell you a big problem with Canada. And I'm not here to rag on Canada because I love Canada.
Oh, I am.
But obviously the U.S. Constitution is superior. You have better freedom of speech. You've got Second Amendment. You've got a better political system. If I wanted to run for politics in Canada, if I wanted to become a member of parliament, I can't do it because none of the major parties will accept me. The nomination committee has to approve me. Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservative Party, would have to approve me. He will never do that because apparently I'm too controversial because I speak the truth. If I wanted to become a Republican member of Congress, I could say, I don't like this guy in West Virginia. I'm going to primary him. And then I'm going to become the representative. And we don't have that system in Canada. So the only people who are ever allowed to run for any of the major parties are the ones who play along, who go along, who don't rock the boat. They're never a maverick. They're not a leader. They're only followers. They're lapdogs. And so we have this system perpetuating of weak leaders who don't want to rock the boat and don't want to actually change any of the major problems that are going on in society because they're afraid of the leftist media.
Chris, I have an opportunity for you.
All right.
You see, the leader of this great nation wants your country. You can have our Constitution. It's all yours, buddy.
Hey, man. I would love to have your Constitution. It's not going to happen. Canadians, here's my message to Canadians. They need to stop freaking out. Okay? Trump, with his jokes about the 51st state, yes, he's serious when he says Canadians would be better off with lower taxes. Obviously, Canadians would be better off with a superior military. Yes, that's obviously true. Our fighter jets are from the 1980s. They're the same thing that Tom Cruise was flying around in. And don't get me wrong, those are awesome fighter jets, but they're 40 years old.
Jeez.
You have a better constitution. You have freedom of speech. You don't get arrested for telling the truth. And yes, would we be better off? We would. But unfortunately, Trump derangement syndrome in Canada is at an all-time high. I would say right now at this moment in time, anti-Americanism is probably as high as it's been. And even before Trump got elected, even before all this current brouhaha, if you look at the conservative voters in Canada, half of them would have voted for Kamala Harris.
Good Lord.
How often are Canadians discussing U.S. politics instead of Canadian politics?
Every single day.
I mean, they move here. Look at this. Look at this guy right here sitting across from me.
If I'm going to start a business today, if I was a rich guy and I had $10 million, $100 million, and I'm going to start a business, why on earth would I ever start it in Canada?
You were a gay communist?
Well, those people are never going to have money.
They're never going to. Oh,
good point.
Yeah.
So, to be fair, hypothetical.
The government gives them money to start a business which likely will not succeed. That happens, right?
Yeah, sure. If I'm in the pocket of some leftists and we want to have some corrupt business going on, sure, maybe then I would do it.
I gotta be honest, man. You know, look, if you remember Spaghetti Gate? This is like 13 years ago. This is
refresh my memory.
So in Montreal, that's how it's pronounced. It's illegal to speak English completely. I'm kidding. It's illegal to have English supersede French in written in markets and things like that. In public accommodation, I think you describe it.
On signage for businesses, you can't have just English signage. It has to be equal, or the French has to be bigger.
French has to be bigger.
Yeah.
And so Spaghetti Gate, I think it was called Spaghetti Gate. The viewers might know. It might have been Pasta Gate or something. I think it was Spaghetti Gate. Basically, they have in Quebec language police. And there was an Italian restaurant, and the language police showed up and said, "Where's the French?" And they were like, "What?" And they were like, "It just says Mastacholi, spaghetti, whatever. Where's the French?" And they were like, "But that's just what it's called." So they got a fine for not having French versions of Italian dishes, which don't have French names.
Yeah, I do remember that. So Quebec is an entirely different culture. We almost lost them back in the early 90s, I guess.
Yeah.
They had a referendum, and they almost left Canada. So there's a party called the Bloc Québécois, which is a federal party. They take seats in our parliament. They normally have maybe 30, 40 seats, something like that. But they only run candidates in Quebec. So I don't know why they're allowed to be a federal party, quite frankly. And they all want to leave Canada. So those are some of the people taking up almost 10% of all the seats in our parliament.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.